Hunting and feeding the clan is very, very simple. All we really have to do is calculate out what each person does. And this is actually done in reverse player order because there's a limited supply. Therefore, of course, the first player won't go first. Alright, let's take a look at green first. What do they have? They have 1 herb. That's going to produce 1 food for them. And they'll just take that. And they have this spear. Now green is sitting on 1 mammoth space, so there's no special modifier there. There's 2 mammoths there. So with 2 mammoths available, their spear gives them 1 mammoth. Now remember, the mammoth is worth 4 food, so that's a pretty good trade there. But now they have to feed their clan, and they've got 2 clan members. They want to spend their mammoth to get them back in the pool because they're reliant on these. So they get this food. Let's go to our next one, which is red. Again, an herb. The fishing rod with 1 pool is going to pull them 1 fish. So they get a fish. They get the food from the herb. And the fish just stays here unless they're going to spend it. Now they do want to spend it. They've got 2 people to feed, so they'll throw their fish in and they get an extra food. The reason they want to spend it is to put it back so that it can go back in the pool. Our next is white. They get a bear and an herb, etc. And I'll come back in a moment. Now it's time to spread the clan. And again, because this is advantageous for whoever goes first, the last player is going to do it first again. Yeah. That's why he's called the last player. He does everything first. Alright, well, spreading the clan, you're allowed to buy up to 5 of these. Now, green only has $6 though, so the most he could grow is 3 spaces. And he doesn't want to do that because he wants a technology. Now this is the part that I usually forget, is save for the technology. Well, the most expensive thing out there is going to cost me 3. So if that's something I want, if I want a most expensive thing, and there's a nice fishing net there, well actually the most expensive is a 4, but I'm probably not going to see this. So chances are I'm paying more in the 2 or 3 range. But what's out there that I could take? Well, there's fire for 1, which might be kind of cool. There's the plow, which is very cool if I can get fields. And there's the bow, which gives me bears. Bears look appealing, so I want to spread to that. Let's say I get the bow for the bears. Either one, either the 2 or 3. Well, let's save myself $3 for growth then, to cover the $3 bow in case I can get that. Well, I want to grow here. That's 1. Now, I can only grow 1 more space to get 3. Now, here's the thing. If I can get that fishing pole or a different one, there's a slight advantage to being in 2 fishing areas at once. So I'm going to spread here. Mainly because anywhere else I spread, except over here, which would be the same fishing area, is going to kind of hurt. It is not going to help me. Actually, it's going to cost more than that $3. So these 2 cost me 3. But if I had expanded into, oh, I don't know, say here, which I could have done, instead of $3, I'd be paying $5 because there'll be 2 pieces in there at the end. And that's a little more than I want to spend because I'd kind of like to keep enough food to buy those things that I like. Now it's important I've spread 2 spaces to mark myself up there, stand my little ducks up, and move on. Should I do another one of these right away? Let's see how much. Yeah, alright. Well, we'll do at least one more. Let's look at red here. Herbs and a fishing rod. Okay. So red has to kind of look at what they want to buy next turn. And in this case, the bow is appealing. Other things are too. Obviously, the additional fishing rod. there was a spear, that would be cool. If they could get the big field, yeah, obviously. But what is it that's possibly, you know, fairly likely for them to get? Maybe the berries. Berries sound pretty good. So here's what they're going to do. They're looking at, the berries could cost them $3. The same kind of situation. They can only expand $3 worth of spaces, which is really 2 into an empty areas. 2 into an empty area, well, they could get berries here, but they might as well take this growth and then this one. And I'm placing here because this one's harder for other people to reach. It's more inaccessible, so they have the advantage there. And they're going to pay their $3 for this. And this is just, you know, the XXer in me trying to cut roots, etc. But the alternative option would have been to go into bears. Definitely a possibility. But they saw that green went into bears, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, this seemed more reasonable to them. And we give them a duck, too. Okay. That's going to kind of confuse me. I had all ducks on the board before, but... so, let's likewise... oh, and they've grown 2. So they go forward. And this is how we're going to determine player order. So it's kind of... you don't want to jump out ahead, necessarily. White... well... I'll just take care of the rest of the spreading without so much thinking and chattering. You just can't shut me up. Alright, so white ended up doing a similar kind of spread, grabbing berries and expanding their territory up to the 4 spaces. But black has interesting choices, and I kind of want to talk through these because they are so interesting. Maybe not interesting choices, but a bit of a dilemma here. Black, first of all, has less money. I'm not sure why. Trying to figure out why. They must have spent more on a spread? No. Yeah, I'm not seeing why they have less money than some of these other players. Did I not pay for people's stuff? Let's take a look, because I think that's what happened here. Green bought, and this may be what's going on, because I'm seeing $6 on everyone, and they shouldn't have $6. They had 7 to begin with. Oh, production has taken place. Okay, so black hasn't gotten as much production as some of the others have, and that's where they're behind. Okay, fair enough. So, black's got a bit of a problem. One of the things they look at is, oh geez, I have a low number card, so I'm likely to be the first player. I'm likely to have the pick of my choice. But if I'm the first player, you know, as long as I don't build above them, I'm likely to have be last player. Sorry, I'm likely to be bonused by not being the first player, and being able to go first all the time because of it. So I have 5 food though. If I spread 2, that'll only leave me with 2 food. All I could choose then is a bow, which isn't terrible for me. I kind of like that. And something less. I'm going to go with that. I am going to spread 2. But the problem is I am going to have less money because of it. Still, I think it's important to spread out, to gain territories. I can't go up here without crossing this. Anywhere else I get another person's thing. So I'm going to spend my $3. I'm going to grow my 2 spaces. And I'm going to be happy with what I'm liable to get out of it. See if other players have the same kind of dilemma. They don't. They have more money, but the board's getting more crowded. It's harder to advance. So, for example, yellow, doesn't really have anything that they need. They're already sitting on a couple of things. They want to hold money. There's no question there in my mind. What they'd like to do is expand into more territories, though. Now, they're not going to add additional stuff unless they go for the fishing, but there isn't a lot of fishing ability available right now. Of course, things move faster here in terms of that can shift quite a bit in the 6-player game than they do in the 2-player game. But I'm going to grow into these 2 spaces, pay my $3, jump ahead, and just take my cheap growth. And now blue is in a painful position where they're going to have to pay an extra $1 or $2 to grow anywhere. And what do they want to do? Well, I think their best option is into these berries here. So if I grow into here, that's going to cost me $3 right there just to take that space. Goes to $5 to go here, and then all I could afford is fire, which I can't have, and of course the cheap basket, which may not be bad. I'm moving into a berries section. I'll actually get $1 for that if I spend $5. That's not a terrible option. How important is spreading? I'll do it. I'll spread 2 areas as well into here. So I've spent 3, 4, 5. 2 extra for this space where I've got 2 guys, and I have also grown that large. Alright, I was hoping to have more time on this one, but now we determine the first player in the turn order. Well, everybody's got the same number of spaces, so they're all tied. So the first player is the guy with the highest card, which in this case happens to be green. And strangely enough, it's sort of getting reversed. Red's got a 13 card, white's got a 12. They took the good cards, they're going to pay for it. Yellow's down to 11, then black, then blue. Very little divergence there, and the whole ordering switched. Of course, the first turn is very important because you get these spreading opportunities that, say, blue didn't have, and they ended up spending a lot of money, leaving themselves with almost nothing for their purchases. Now we refill the resources, and this is just an automatic process where this many resources goes back there. So 9 berries show up. And 4 mammoths, and so on. We're going to have a full boat of stuff. Come back in a moment. Here's the hard part. Standing the little animals up, it makes it all look cute and everything. But to be honest, I'm not big on going through the extra effort for that, so I just grab things, throw them in the pool, grab things, throw them in the pool. I stood them up here, but it probably isn't going to happen very often. My wife really loved this game for the cuteness factor, the little wooden animals, the pictures on these. Some of them are very, very humorous, you know, like the bow with the bear behind him. And they get better and better, like in the spear with men without spears trying to kill the elephant. Okay. But then they get better, you know, so we see here, actually that's the higher value bow. Here the guy's got a tiny little bow that isn't going to do any good, and the bear's eating the bone, or the stick. Alright, so now we're moving to updating the technology market. And here, the top card is going to go under the deck. Now at the bottom of the deck we have this reshuffle card. I don't know if you can see, my morning light is always so tricky. So that's going to just slide under there, and that means it's boned from the game until the game changes significantly. Same effect as in the original game, And now we've got this really potent spear where they've actually succeeded in killing the elephant. Not going to see that. That's going to get boned under the deck too. So the high-level technologies, when they come up, they just disappear basically. But the question is, can something get masked for a long time? All right, and that's the end of the turn. I'm going to put a food on this basket to remind me for the next bidding round that that's going to be not only free, not only a 0-point card, but it's going to actually give you a food to take it. It's going to give you a bonus. And I'll load this one up.